All right, so this is a video of Viper Rendezvous. It's one lap here at Motorsports Park Hastings, and really the goal is here is to show you how I drive a lap at the track. This video was taken with the Garmin Catalyst video and their telemetry there. It's a 2014 ACR Extreme, Extreme Aero, factory gearing, stock motor except for a prefix PCM in case you were wondering. So this is the fastest lap I've had there to date, and really just getting into it here. So we're coming down the front stretch after finishing the previous lap. Looking ahead, actually get up to third gear here. Looking ahead, looking for the braking zone, and I'm going to brake at number 3. Then I'm going to look for that turn in cone, and I'm going to heel toe and downshift to second. And really, when I get to turn 1, my eyes go to that apex cone, but then immediately to that exit cone. And then really going through turn 1, I'm on the gas as soon as possible, and I really push hard through this short section. I use the brakes. I push hard so that I have to use the brakes before I start to turn in for turn 2. Once you get to turn 2, I'm kind of staying about the middle of the track, and then I really cut in. And second gear here really helps rotate the car through the turn. And then you can get back on the gas as soon as possible. So get out to that exit cone. On the straight, I'm going to shift from third into fourth, and keep to the right at the kink. And then I'm going to get back out to the left side of the track for that turn-in cone. Don't turn in too early here, but I'll spot that apex, and as soon as I spot that apex, I'm maybe looking for that exit cone. One of the tricks here, I think, is don't get caught looking at that apex cone for too long. Really get your eyes up and get to that exit cone as soon as possible. And you should be carrying enough speed that you don't downshift here, and you really don't downshift until you're going into turn 4. So again, probably braking at 3, heel toe shift, downshift into third, and then going into 4. I'm usually up on the curbing a little bit at the apex, keeping speed, drifting out to the exit cone, then going into turn 5 and 6. So turn 5 and 6, you're really going to create as really kind of one big corner with the two turns are one big corner. So drift out, you're going to hit the apex or the drift out as exiting 5. Get back on the gas as soon as you can at the apex of 6, and if you hit it better, you'll be able to get back on the gas sooner, and then you'll drift out to that exit cone on the left-hand side. Now, this is where it gets a little scary because turn 7 is off camber to your right, and it feels scary there as you're trying to turn left. And if you drive it right, you really should hit the apex at 7 on the throttle and not still coasting. You should be able to be back into throttle going into that apex. I really don't look for the exit cone coming out of 7. I'm really looking all the way to the entrance cone at 8, looking that far ahead. And you need to keep an eye on that because it comes up really quick here. In fact, you're going almost as fast through this section as you are on the front stretch. Now, turn 8 has some curbing on the apex, and the curbing's off just a little bit. It seems like it's a little too early, so I kind of almost apex it at the end of the curbing. But on exit, I'm really aggressive to continue accelerating until I get to the number 2 marker going into turn 9. So I'm braking at number 2, heel toe, downshift to second gear. And this shifting here really has helped me a lot through the next set of turns, as that lower gear gives me more torque and seems to help me rotate the car through some of the tighter turns. I used to run third gear through from turn 4 all the way through turn 13, but now I shift down to second going into 9. Now your gearing might be a little different, but I would say just don't be afraid to try a lower gear. Just be a little bit ready for that extra torque. Don't let it sneak up on you. So, but getting into 9 then, it's another double corner with 10, and so you're going to hit the apex, then you're going to drift out to the exit cone, and then you're going to hit that apex at 10. Now I let the car drift out to the right, which helps keep the speed up, and I get back on the gas. And I'm working back to the left side of the track as I head into 11. And really here, I'm really pushing through on the throttle, and as long as I can before braking for turn 11. It's tempting to kind of let the car coast through here, but I think you can gain time by getting on the throttle, then getting on the brakes. In fact, I'm almost hitting the rev limiter as I go from 10 into 11. Now 11, I really despise this turn. I struggle with getting it right, but I also don't think I lose much time if you get off, because it is such a slow section, regardless of how you take it. But I try to stay out at the entrance cone as long as I can, and then cut in, and then get into the corner, and then back on the gas heading into the apex of 12. Now, at the apex of 12, I'm usually up on the curbing there, and I'm really then, once I'm getting up to the curbing, or once I get my eyes up, I'm really aiming for that exit cone on the right side, and I want to make sure I let my car drift out to that cone and keep my speed up. I don't want to try to keep the car in tight, because if you keep it in tight to the left, it's slower, but also you kind of run a risk of spinning there if you try and keep it tight. I find it better to let it drift out. And then really I'm back on the gas. I'm hitting the rev limiter as I'm approaching turn 13. Now, 13 is another difficult one, almost maybe as despised as turn 11. I think I actually do a pretty good job of driving this corner most of the time, but it's tricky. It's tricky to get right and do it the same way every time. I guess the thing I really look for is to stay out, stay out, stay out. I want to stay out at that first that entrance cone on the left. And don't enter the corner too early. But then as soon as I've got that exit cone and I'm staying out, I want to get my eyes right and get my eyes to the apex cone, glance at that, and then really get my eyes back to the exit cone that's on the front stretch. And so I can get everything rotated, aim for that exit cone, drift out to the left, and get on the gas and back on the front stretch. Once I'm on the front stretch, I'm going to shift to third and do it all over again. And so that's really how I drive it. I may not be the fastest everywhere, and I'm always looking to improve, but this does get me around the track pretty quickly. A few good points that I have kind of noticed. Basically, corner one is key. If I drive corner one and get through that quickly, it really sets me up for a good lap. Corner two, it seems like some drivers take that line a little wider than I do, but it seems like the exit on the straight ends up being very similar, so I'm not quite sure if it's better to be in tighter or out farther there. I find that once if I get around to corners 4 through 8, I don't find a lot of time to gain. It seems like I can maybe drive those more consistently, and I don't find a lot of places where I can potentially pick up time. But I think corners 1, corners 2, corners 3, and then pretty much 9 through 13 are where you can either gain or lose time. And so the key is driving those probably the most efficiently. So, that's my one lap at Motorsport Park Hastings. We'll play it here in full speed so you can see what everything sounds like at once. But hopefully that helps you maybe improve on something or try something new. And I hope you enjoy that, and look forward to seeing you out at Viper Rendezvous.